Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today is prompt 6 of the 31 Days of Tarot 2021 challenge, and the prompt for today is the deck you finally crossed off your wish list in 2020. And there are several decks that I crossed off my wish list last year in 2020, but I'm going to talk about this one, the Dark Goddess Tarot, because I have quite a little bit of a story with this deck. So this is the Dark Goddess Tarot by Ellen Lorenzi-Prince, and this is the first edition of this deck. And what happened is I was aware of this deck when it was in print, and I have been aware of this deck for a long time, several years. And for some reason, I had not realized that it was a limited edition. At the time, I was aware of this one, and I was also aware of the Tarot of the Crown by the same artist. And I thought that I had plenty of time to acquire one or the other. And I was not in a hurry to do so because the deck was not cheap, and there were always another expense more pressing to do that month. So each time the purchase of that deck was pushed to the next month, and then the next month, and then the next month, and then suddenly, after a couple of years had passed, I realized that it was out of print, and I was quite miffed because I had missed on it. And the Dark Goddess Tarot was really a deck I was interested in, very interested in. I had seen it on social media. I was totally aware of the design of the deck and the different dark goddesses and etc. And I was very sad that I had missed on it, but it was my fault. I was just not paying attention, and I should have taken care to get it before it was out of print. So anyway, several years passed, and then I learned that it was going to be printed again. So I thought, great, I missed on the first edition, but I will get a second edition, no problem. And it's going to be affordable because it will be a mass market edition, so all the better. Before that happened, I had put before I learned that there was going to be a second printing, I had put a eBay alert for this deck on eBay because I had been searching for it on the second-hand market, and I had not found it, so I put an eBay alert for this deck on eBay, and it was never popping out. Nobody was ever selling their copy. Anyway, then I learned that a second edition was going to be printed mass market, so I thought, okay, well, very well, I will buy this deck mass market and all will be well. And then I learned that the second edition was going to be printed by Schiffer. And how can I say that without being harsh to Schiffer? Schiffer produces beautiful decks. In general, I really like the decks they release. I just don't like their cardstock at all. I really do not like Schiffer cardstock. It's usually very good quality. All my Schiffer decks, I have a few, have sturdy, good quality cardstock. They come in beautiful, sturdy boxes. The books are nice. So it's not a question of quality because it's good quality. It's a question that I don't like the cardstock because usually it's very shiny and it sticks together. I don't have anything against shiny cardstock by itself. I mean, it's not the shine that that bothers me. I'd rather not having a I'd rather not have a shiny cardstock because it's very difficult to photograph. But it's not the shine that really bothers me. It's the way the shiny cardstock of Schiffer clumps together. The cards do not slide, and they are difficult to manipulate, they are difficult to shuffle, and when you try to shuffle, instead of shuffling beautifully like this one does, it's not a Schiffer deck, they clump together and you have big clumps of cards like that, and I really do not like that. And also for some reason when I handle a Schiffer deck, it usually cuts into my hand. Anyway, I have a few Schiffer decks and I dislike the cardstock and I don't use them. So I thought, that's really bad, because the Dark Goddess Tarot is really a tarot I have been lusting after for years, and I want to use it. And I know that if I get the Schiffer version, I'm not going to use it much, because that happens with all my Schiffer decks, even the ones I really like. And that's all because of the cardstock. So I went back on the secondary market and I put again this alert on eBay if the deck was popping up, and it did. I didn't see many. I mean, I didn't. I never. The only second-hand Dark Goddess deck I saw in all those months is this one. Obviously, people who own the first edition are not very willing to part from it, and they are right. So eventually, I found this one, this copy, and it was not cheap at all. It was quite a lot of money actually. So I made an offer on eBay to the seller, which I consider reasonable, and they accepted. It was still a lot. I'm happy with the deal I made. I made an offer and it was accepted, and I'm extremely happy that I have this deck now. And I don't regret it. I'm so 100% sure that I'm going to use this deck way much more than I would have used the Schiffer version. So I'm happy with my purchase, and this is one deck that that has been on my wish list for several years, and that I finally crossed off my wish list in 2020. So that's it. That was my story with Dark Goddess Tarot, and I'm quite happy I have it. And if you have it, tell me what you think about it. Thank you. Bye bye.